Wrestling fans, guys, I hope your weekend's been going great. I hope you've had a great weekend. It's Saturday, and, my day has been full today, absolutely full. Had Elimination Chamber earlier on today. Watched that. Brock Lesnar eating everybody alive, destroying everybody, throwing everybody around like a rag doll, tossing Austin Theory off the top of the Elimination Chamber pod, F5ing him off of it. Just absolute chaos in the Elimination Chamber men's chamber matchup by Brock Lesnar. But wrestling fans, let me tell you, I discussed that plus so much more earlier on today, which you can see the link to it and tap on it in the description below. But guys, right here, right now, we are going to be discussing the Undertaker and who I think should induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. Overall superstar. The package that they gave tonight or today and on Friday of the Undertaker's career was a really good package, and everybody that was in it, it really showed a lot of people that was on the Undertaker's good list and the great rivals that he had, whether it was Batista and John Cena, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, to name a few. But when you look at who should induct him into the Hall of Fame, a lot of names come around. A lot of names come up. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, Mick Foley. Let's just run this down. Why would Mick Foley induct him? By far, one of the greatest rivals he had in the 90s. Absolute one of the greatest. Whether it was the Buried Alive matchup, whether it was that Boiler Room Brawl contest where Paul Bearer turned on The Undertaker, which set up a different side of the dead man that we saw. And The Undertaker really started talking more for himself and stuff. And I remember he came down, after that, he came down one in your house from the ceiling with the big kind of like Batman bat wings that he had. So that was really cool. Besides that, the Hell in a Cell match, just all different types of stuff that we saw, especially if you grew up in the 90s. That was a rival that really intrigued you. So Mick Foley would be a very good choice. Kane, what about Kane? Brothers of Destruction, Glenn Jacobs would be an absolute awesome choice to induct the Undertaker. But at the same time, it would be one of those choices that, if WWE picked it, we would expect it. We would expect them to pick Kane, especially since Paul Bearer isn't around anymore. Because if Paul Bearer was around, Paul Bearer would be the number one pick to induct the Undertaker. Who better than the Undertaker's manager? Who better than the one that gave that extra layer to the Undertaker's presence, his aura? Oh, yes! Just all of it. This overall package, the Paul Bearer connected with it. Whether it was when he was with him or he was the catalyst that brought all his enemies together. Vader, Mankind. I mean, just the laundry list. Kane. Wasn't for Paul Bear, we wouldn't have had Kane. We've heard that story 100 times. Glenn Jacobs, he'd be a perfect candidate. I mean, look at the way he debuted In Your House Bad Blood, where he ripped the Hell in a Cell door off, and then he tombstoned the Undertaker right in the center of the ring, where a bloody, just absolute mess, disgusting Shawn Michaels laid there, lifeless, getting the victory over the Undertaker. Triple H and everybody had to pretty much carry him out of the ring, but Shawn Michaels still picked up the victory. Shawn Michaels would be another good one. Him and The Undertaker had by far one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever, by far. And most would agree when I say WrestleMania 25. Hands down. Hands down. But the way Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker did that, and the way they did their stuff in the 90s, and the way they came back and had that 4 WrestleMania stuff, which was connected also with Triple H, absolutely priceless. That alone should put Shawn Michaels up as a candidate. Triple H, also one that would be up there for the same type reasons as Shawn Michaels, but I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. I just don't. You know, out of everybody that I've mentioned so far, the one person that I could see WWE really going down the road with is Kane. I mean, is Kane. But that's not who I want to see. That's not who I want to see. That's not who makes the most sense to me. It's not. It's not any of the rivals that we have that we saw on television, really. The person that should induct the Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame is Vince McMahon. That is who should induct him into the Hall of Fame. Now I know Vinnie Mac doesn't like to be seen in front of a lot of audiences, only special appearances. Look, this is a special appearance. This is your greatest creation. This is the greatest creation WWE has ever had outside of WrestleMania. Hands down. Because, look, name anybody else that can pull this type character off. You can't. Name anybody else that would stick with the company straight all the way through. Name anybody else that did that. Now, yes, I'm talking about from 1990 all the way through. Yes, you did have Shawn Michaels and those other few names, but there was always The Undertaker. He was always there. He was always changing his character to give a different appearance for it, a different aura for it. But look, Vince McMahon showed up and inducted Stone Cold Steve Austin into the WWE Hall of Fame back in 2009. That was the right fit for Austin to get inducted by Vince McMahon. This is the right fit. Vince McMahon inducting The Undertaker. They're friends. How long of a relationship, how long of a business relationship it's been. Look how long The Undertaker's been with WWE. It needs to be Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is the right person for the job. He just is. And if it's not Vince, I would go with Kane or Mick Foley. Excuse me. But, because both of those guys could do it very well. And both of those guys could tell some pretty good stories about The Undertaker. Whatever The Undertaker is not going to tell us. Because The Undertaker is one of those superstars, is one of those characters that I am very interested in hearing and seeing what he's going to say. Everybody was interested in seeing what the Ultimate Warrior was going to say. I'm interested in seeing what The Undertaker is going to say. Not just because he is one of the all-time greats. He's probably up there as the greatest in my eyes. And because he was the one that got me hooked on wrestling, I'm interested in what he's going to say because a big reason, because up until he beat AJ Styles, up until after that, we didn't hear from The Undertaker, really. Very few and far between did we see him come on here on ESPN or different places and things to give interviews. Never saw it. So I'm interested to hear what exactly he's going to say. So y'all let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Who do you think should induct The Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame? Should it be Vincent Kenny McMahon? Should it be Kane? Probably the person out of all the people that I just mentioned is really the most likely choice and really the most generic choice, but he would fit the bill for it because of who he is and the relationship he has with the Undertaker. But Glenn Jacobs, even though he's a really nice guy and a really great performer, him inducting The Undertaker would come across as, well, that's expected. That's expected, wrestling fans. That's expected, okay? So, WWE, I hope you don't go down that road. And I hope you don't go down the road of, I love you. Because Brother Love, a.k.a. Bruce Pritchard, wasn't the manager of The Undertaker long enough to induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame. He wasn't. So, get that out of your mind if you have any of that floating around. Okay, WWE. But I'm getting out of here, wrestling fans. Let me know who you think should induct The Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame this year in the comments below. And of course, until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch each and every one of you on the other side. Talk to you later.